What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. It's start of a brand new week. I hope you're all doing great. I'm really good. Thank you very much for stopping by. You very much appreciated. You know that. I see you watching us from South Africa, Zimbabwe. Thank you very much, Namibia. Thank you so much, South Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda. Thank you, Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia. Thank you, Jamaica, USA, UK. I see you, Canada. Thank you very much. We are the same people. Thank you for stopping by. Please, your first time, you know what to do. Click on the button, subscribe. I'm sure you're gonna like each other. We already do, okay? Okay, so today we're gonna talk about Burkina Faso. I'm sure we've spoken about this quite a bit for the past couple of days. Burkina Faso is ruled by a very young man named Ibrahim Traore. He's 34 years old. So what's big news right now is there has been an attempted coup in Burkina Faso. Yes, they've tried to topple Ibrahim Traore, a very strong man who's inspiring the spirit of Thomas Sankara. I know many of us don't know who Thomas Sankara is. Thomas Sankara is a Pan-Africanist who stood very strong against the West many years ago in the 80s. He stood very strong. He was the first president to bring in many ladies into the government. He was the first president to reduce his own salary. He reduced his own salary. An African president reducing his own salary. Yes, Thomas Sankara. So this young man, obviously they didn't like him. So they took him out very quickly. You know, in Africa, it must give you some of those people that love money so much. So they can continue to loot the continent. People that really love the interests of Africa as leaders are not wanted at all. So they're going to do anything they can to oust them. So this young man, Ibrahim Traore, has inspired many people into rethinking of Thomas Sankara with his way of being, with his youth and his strength. So there has been a few days ago an attempt to topple him. So 3 soldiers in Burkina Faso have been arrested and charged with plotting against the ruling junta in the country. Investigators last month received a tip-off about soldiers and former soldiers working in intelligence who were scouting out the homes and other locations used by key figures in the junta, including Captain Ibrahim Traore. So some military guys involved in intelligence were scouting the home of this president. Their goal was to destabilize the transition, they say. Investigation led to the arrest of 3 who have been ordained and detained by examining magistrate. As you can see, once again, fellas, that's what it is in Africa. Most of the time, they don't like us to be strong. They don't like strong leaders. They don't like leaders who are actually working for the interests of African people. They don't like young people. They like those old people who are greedy, who wants to eat, who wants to build for their families, who don't have any interest for the African people. They don't like young, strong men who are well reflected, leaders who truly want good things for Africa. So these people have been charged, obviously, charged with involvement in a military plot, breach of military order, plotting against state security, criminal association and endangerment. Military prosecutor Major Alphonse Zoma said in a statement. The 3 were named as Warrant Officer Windy Mande Drake Kabore, Sergeant Bryce Ismail, and former Corporal Semi Da, who has been previously convicted in a plot against state in 2015. Interesting. So this guy's been very much involved in plotting against state. Power hungry. So Ibrahim Traore took power in 2022, for context, making him the world's youngest president, 34 years old. Strong man, young man, good looking man. Look at this man. Good looking, strong, good values. Just how we like them in Africa. Truly. You know, he toppled Colonel Paul-Henri Sandaogo Damiba, who also toppled the rock Marc Christian Kabore. So basically, in the past 2 years, Burkina Faso has had 3 different presidents. The first 2 were not doing anything for the country. The country was riddled by terrorism. And the first 2 presidents did very little effort in order to try to change that. People were fed up about that. So just for context, guys, I know many people don't understand. We are talking about Burkina Faso. This is Burkina Faso. We have 2 other countries that we've spoken about very often lately. There is Niger, there is Mali. Okay, these are 3 countries that have one thing in common. They have toppled the president. And another thing they have in common is they're all colonized by French. And another thing in common they have, French troops have been stationed in their country for a long time. So, toppled president, terrorists, colonized by French. French people have been in the country for a long time. Obviously, these are countries that are trying to free themselves from the colonialism and the neo-colonialism. And many people don't like it. So many people are thinking, what would be the reason why they want to topple this president? Obviously, very lately, he's been very involved in what's been happening in Niger. You remember Niger? Burkina Faso offered to send troops in Niger to go and defend people of Niger after the 15th country of ECOWAS threatened to send force to reinstate President Bazoum. And the ECOWAS countries are very well supported by the French government. Now, Burkina Faso kicked away the French military. Mali kicked away French military from its territory. Niger has done the same. So you have 3 countries that are rebellious against the French people. Obviously, they don't like them. Would this be the reason why maybe the French government will want this man out of the government? Very young man, very good looking, very strong with his moral. He said, we are not enemy of the French people. It is the policy of those who run France which poses a problem in Africa. So as long as the state is not imperialist, there is no problem, he said. We must agree to look at each other as equal. We must agree to review all our cooperations. He criticized France for having given independence and placed people at the head of certain states. So this guy's been very clear, very blatant. He doesn't squash his word. He says it like it is. He said, we need to see each other as partners with respect. We are not your kid. We are not your little brothers, okay? You need to talk to us with respect and dignity. We need to review our deals. We're going to deal in a win-win basis, not you winning or losing. No. We have the minerals, we have the stuff. You want us more than we need you. Don't try and make us feel like we need you more than you need us. They don't like that. He said again, French people, after giving independence, started placing puppets in government of African countries so they can continue colonialism. Nobody likes that. So Ibrahim Traore sent troops to Niger to protect them. He's been very open about it. He says Niger needs to be free, Burkina Faso has to be free, Mali needs to be free. And many people don't like it. And again, who could be the engine of this attempted coup, this failed coup? So they say Burkina Faso cabinet has given a government green light to send troops to help defend neighboring Niger. Yes, they sent troops to defend Niger. Great, very good deed. All right, just so you know, in Niger, they discovered something very interesting. They said Nigerian authority discovered on Tuesday a set of military equipment, including 16 uniforms of Burkina Faso army in a van out of the French embassy in Niamey. So, Burkina Faso army uniform in a van coming out of the embassy of France in Niamey, in Niger. Hold on a second. Niger is another country. They found Burkina Faso army uniform in a van coming out of the French embassy in Niger, Niamey. How do you explain that? What is the Burkina Faso's fight uniform doing in the French embassy? 16 fatigued uniform, so used uniform, 21 military t-shirts, and 2 pair of shoes of the Burkina Faso people coming out of the French embassy in Niger. How do you explain that? Can somebody give me an answer to that? What are the French people doing with Burkina Faso's uniforms in the French embassy? What is the plot? What is the goal here? Thank you very much, fellas. The fight of Africa is still very, very strong. We need to be together to win it. Africans just want freedom. We want to profit from the good deed that the Most High gave us, the resources that we have, the capacities that we have. We are tired of trying, we're tired of going to Europe, right? Anyway, people don't like us in Europe, do they? No, they don't. Okay, so allow us to live with our riches. Allow us to grow with our means. Stop changing presidents. Stop placing puppets so they can look after the interest of the people. Now, the people of Africa understands the mechanism. They're not stupid. But Marley said you can fool some people sometimes, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure to read from you. God bless.